Okay, here I am.
There you go.
Here I am. So I can move that across here now.
Right.
Means
and we can both see the chats.
Okay, here I am.
There you go.
I need to turn you off from here.
Across here now.
Right.
And
we can both see the chats.
Okay, here I am.
There you go.
I need to turn you off from here.
Across here now.
Right.
We can both see the chat.
I can't hear you.
Right, can you hear me now? Yeah, I can't hear you now for some reason. I'm
muted. Hold on.
Oh, there you go. It's fine. It's now. I can hear you now. It's good.
You can hear me?
I can also hear me on YouTube as well, which was a bit annoying.
Right. That's the one you have to turn off. I closed my browser. So I see the chat on the left-hand side.
Right. You need to turn off your. You need to unclick me on because I've got a white. Have I got a white frame around me?
Yeah.
There. Take that off. Just click my picture.
Did it. Done.
Okay. Because now I shouldn't be the main thing on the screen, which I am at the moment.
Well, that's because there's only two of us. I think if I click me, it'll stay on me. Which who doesn't look at that handsome guy with that awesome, nice beard coming in all gray?
Yeah, I think we could try maybe to get. I don't know. Wait, what do this or not? Because it's gonna. I think if we can get some sort of screen up rather than us, we can just minimize the bottom. So people don't want to see us that close, do they? So there you go.
Much
you can
better.
still see it at the bottom. And this way we can actually review things as well at the same time, can't we? Put a PDF up.
Yeah, because actually one of the things I wanted to talk about, I'm trying to bring up my, I'm trying to click on the screen. I'm not that smart. Come on. Where is it here? So, was it Darkwood? Yeah. I did Blood Shadow yesterday. So I did a review the other day of Hard Nova and Brent Bernstein from Pig Games or Priestess Intermedia. They used to be politically incorrect games, which I thought was an awesome name. And they changed it to Priestess Intermedia, which is fine. I mean, they still kept the acronym of PIG, which I think is awesome. Let's see which one. Yeah, let's do this one. Earth 2 Expanded. So you should see a PDF on the screen right now.
Not yet. I see Astrob. Are you sharing that screen? You need to
I thought I was. Let me see here. It's not showing. Oh, let's make the. Trying to share my screen here. Hello.
Don't know what's going on. I've got you twice now. Okay. It's all very confusing, isn't it?
It is just a wee bit. Close that. Now, if I still have you up, right? I don't want to close. I just want to close my email. There we go. And there you go. We're still going. All right.
But you haven't set this to live yet, have you?
Yeah, I got a red light says live.
Oh, well. Excellent. We're live.
Yeah. There we go.
Right, yeah.
So you should be able to see that, yeah?
Yeah.
Cool. I really need to get a second monitor. I mean, it's a 17-inch laptop, so it's pretty beefy. But I need a bigger screen, or I need two screens basically. But this desk that I have, it was a freebie. It came with the house, so I can't really complain. So I'm going to leave the chat room up to you.
Yeah, I can't actually see it.
You can't see the chat. Oh, is it because I'm hosting? Is that
possibly? Yeah. Let me just see if I can get this. Let's see if I can do it again. Let me have a look. Just get me YouTubed up.
Well, I have it here, so
okay.
I can see the chat and then I can see my screen, but unfortunately I can't.
Right now I can see it. It's all right. It's all good now. I can do it.
You got it? Okay.
Yep. Yeah. I'm not sure if anybody is.
I don't think anybody's on there. I'm going to go on Discord real quick and let everybody know that we're broadcasting. And it was that link I sent you. Oh wait, no, it's a different link. I wanted to send them to.
Yeah, you just want to have a YouTube link. Do you want me to give it to you?
I got it.
Okay.
Yeah, let's go here and go here to YouTube channel. There we go. So that's there. I'm gonna post it here. And I also want to post it on MeWe. Because you can't have enough sources. You know what I'm saying?
I've not really used MeWe much, you know. I'm part of it. I have posted on there a couple of times, but I've not really used it.
I'm just not savvy on doing it. Like I said, my normal setup is just, you know, me talking to the camera. But I know Discord and you know, all this stuff can, you know, OBS is pretty powerful software.
Yeah.
Hey, Jesus.
You can just call me Jason. Sorry.
Everybody's a comedian. All right. So we got that. I'll close that. All right. So who knows? Nobody may come in. Everybody may. Who knows?
Yeah. It'd be nice to know if this actually works, so they can actually hear us and stuff, really, because obviously we can't.
I think if you click the link, like if you open up your Discord, the problem is we'll get echo feedback here in a minute.
Yeah, exactly. I did that. Yeah, I did get echo feedback, but
so that means it's working.
Well, in theory, yeah. There's two watching now, so maybe somebody will say something. If we ask them if you can just pop into the chat and say, "Yes, I can hear you."
Everything it's working. I tested it.
That would be good.
Yeah, and there's a second or two delay from online. Let me close this. All right. Plus, it's a little bit earlier. Well, this is about the time I've been posting stuff.
Right.
So, let's put a note in the chat here. Use my keyboard. I don't know if it has the analytics that'll tell us that, you know, someone's joined the chat room. It does show that you joined. It says Farrell joined.
Yeah.
Well, and the nice part is this will be recorded to my channel on YouTube, so people can come back and watch it later. So it's no big deal. If nobody comes in, I'm sure some people will come in. I've got a couple, Azala, a guy named Brian. There's a couple guys that pop in and say hi on a regular basis.
Okay. Well, this is kind of a test anyway, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, and we'll take it from here.
The idea is behind it is that people can get involved and come in and talk to us and have a chat, and we'll just sort of, you know, shoot the breeze, really.
Yeah,
people.
Because, hell, we're freaking awesome.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. That aspect.
So anyway, what I was saying before when we first started is the guys over at Pig Games sent me a bunch of their PDFs with no expectation that I was going to review them. They didn't ask me to do anything, so for those that are listening or will watch in the future, there was no, they sent this to me with the expectation that I would review them or, drive sales to their website. I did it out of just because I'm a fan of Hard Nova, and they realized that. And so they decided that Brett actually does follow me on YouTube, and
right.
He's the owner of the company. And so he sent me a couple PDFs just, for my enjoyment. And I thought I would, as the days go on, I would try to review each of them. I haven't even had a chance to look at Earth AD 2, right, which is, near and dear to my heart because I love post-apocalyptic, cataclysm type games.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you're familiar with Priestess's games, but they do pretty good stuff, man.
I mean, I looked up Blood Shadow yesterday after I watched the video.
Okay.
On drive-through, and there is no print on demand on drive-through, by the way. It's only of that version anyway. There's only a PDF.
Yeah, you can buy a hard copy directly from their web store.
Yeah. See, the trouble with it is being in the UK, buying anything directly from America is very expensive.
Right.
So we're kind of reliant. Well, I'm kind of reliant upon them being distributed through Estevium or Asmodee, or whatever it's called now.
Right.
I can get it in the UK or Amazon, or as a print on demand and drive-through. Right. Because to order it and to have it delivered from America would cost me about the same price as the actual book itself. So
right, on top of the cost of the book itself.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I mean, I went in to look for a copy of Shadow of a Demon Lord from the actual website, and it was like $50 to send it, and it was like $40 to buy the book or something like that. Ridiculous.
Well, yeah,
and so I didn't.
Yeah, and don't feel bad because it goes the same way the other way around. There's
I know, yeah,
6 more vodkas make a game called Degenesis, which you and I have talked about in the past. And I went to buy that book, or 2 books, hardback, gorgeous books.
Yeah.
And it was $200. It was $60 for the books and $140 in tariffs and taxes and custom fees, to ship it from Germany to here.
My screen.
I'm sorry?
I don't know if you can see me on the little.
Let me switch screens.
Little,
oh yeah, you're showing off. May I just say, sir, you are a dick.
Oh yeah, I haven't finished yet. I haven't finished showing off. Give me a second. I'm still showing off.
I'm gonna be more of a jerk. Look at me. Oh, you're a putz.
I haven't finished yet. I'm still showing off.
Is that the GM screen or the adventure?
That's the adventure.
Oh, nice.
And I'm still showing off.
Oh, which one is that?
That's Black Atlantic, the latest one.
Oh, you are a jerk. You're a jerk. You should send those to me. For safekeeping, of course, because America's much safer than England. I mean, our cops carry.
That's everything up to now. Currently, I didn't get the GM screen, so I don't generally tend to play on offline. So,
have you looked at the mechanics?
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
man, they're and again, I always tout on my stream how I hate D6 games, but I have a lot of D6 games. I love it's the same mechanics as Vampire the Masquerade, except with D6s.
Exactly. It's kind of weird, really. I was thinking about this the other night about D6 systems. And I was thinking about the fact that you don't like them and how much they've changed and then changed back again. Because back in the old days, back in the 90s, whatever you want to call the old days, the Open D6 system and Shadowrun both used like fistfuls of dice.
Right, which is what I hate.
And then it kind of changed and everything started rolling 2d6 plus modifiers or 3d6, like with GURPS. And it kind of went down to smaller sizes of d6 pools. But now, with things like Degenesis, Wrath and Glory, and Judge Dredd recently, they've gone back to big pools again.
Right.
And, so they've kind of gone the complete circle.
Well, there's the grognards like you and I that want streamlined, easy to run systems because we don't have a lot of time to read complex rules, and it's a major chore to get 5 or 6 of your mates together to have a gaming session. Whereas when you're 15 to 21, you really don't have a job. You're living with your parents, you're going to college, you're on the government dole. It's easier. You have that time to read those complex rules. It would be interesting to see a demographics of the age group of players for games like West End games, because all their games were a die pool mechanic of D6s. Yeah. So again, you were chucking a buttload of dice, or like Shadowrun, which uses a bunch of dice. I think that's really about the only two left on the market where you're rolling heaps of dice.
Well, no, not anymore. I mean, Degenesis, you could roll up to 20 dice with Degenesis.
With Degenesis, yeah.
And Wrath and Glory, the new Warhammer 40k role-playing game, that again is another one that you can roll up to 15, 20 dice.
Oh, gee, see, and that's just too many. That's too much.
But it's getting that way again. Do you know what I mean? So Shadowrunners has a resurgence, and that's
right.
Dice. So that's now going again. So Shadowrun Anarchy, which is the kind of Shadowrun Light, still uses pools of dice. So, and the latest Judge Dredd game, which uses 10 to 15.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So yeah, so all of those could be, and I've actually the Judge Dredd game is the latest Judge Dredd game. You've not seen it. I've backed it.
Keep your crappy Judge Dredd. I've got the original, baby.
And
you can't see my screen, can you?
Wrath and Glory, the new 40k game.
I did. I passed up on it. But can you see me on the screen right now?
No, I can't. No, you're black.
Let me stop.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I see. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, baby. What is that? right there.
We're
original, not digital, baby. This is the real shit. All right. Look, it's so old. Look at that. It's literally falling apart. I mean, years and years of enjoyment of this game, man. I have the GM screen somewhere, but it was the paper GM screen. So it was kind of horrible. Let's go back to our.
But yeah, I used to have the original Judge Dredd. I played it a few times. I think I played it quite recently, actually, because a friend of mine got it on eBay, all the stuff for it. And
I want to go back to sharing my screen.
Yeah, PDF. But
I think I have to choose the window and then go back. Why is it not doing it?
Oh, there you go.
Well, that's just my desktop. That's fine. That'll work. You don't want to see my ugly mug. But yeah, that's the original.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, and I still got all the figure flats that it came with. I didn't realize I had those. I mean, this is, and then I also have the pull-out map because it came with a little box set. But man, awesome.
See, the problem with it now is that it keeps going to me every time I speak.
Say again?
It keeps flipping to my screen every time.
Yeah, let me present to everyone. There we go. That's
okay. Get rid of that. So.
There we go.
No,
Still don't see anybody in chat. I know on the YouTube channel it'll show you who's, it'll say X people are watching you right now. I'm doing a little triage on my Judge Dredd book because it's falling apart. I think this book might be older than you, James.
Possibly. I doubt it because I remember playing it when it first came out. So
1989.
Yeah.
So not quite.
No.
Yeah, 1989 by IPC Magazine Limited, used with permission for Games Workshop. That's awesome. That's a classic. That's a blast from the past.
It is. Yeah. It's a D20 system, though, isn't it?
I believe it was. It's been so long. I should look at it again, but I believe it is.
Yeah.
One of the, because they came out with their glut of their role-playing games, and a lot of them were D6 based.
It's when White Dwarf used to be a role-playing game magazine rather than just a Warhammer
magazine.
Magazine.
Remember that when they had D&D modules inside of it?
Yeah.
And Dragon Warriors and
Rune Quest.
Rune Quest, yeah. Did you? I don't know if you ever got it over there in England, but Shadis magazine. Do you remember that?
It rings a bell, yeah. But
it was a U.S. publication, but I don't know if it made it across the pond or not. But it was
US ones we got the Dungeon and the Dragon magazines for TSR.
Oh yeah, everybody got those. They got those in like Spain.
if you could order it, you got the Vampire magazine. There was that Vampire magazine.
Oh, I remember that. I never got the Vampire magazine.
Yeah, the White Wolf one. It was sort of
White Wolves.
You don't see them anymore, do you? I mean, the only role-playing game sort of / board game magazine out now is Tabletop Magazine, which is in the UK.
We've got one called Game Trade Magazine, but that's for the industry. That's not necessarily. It's basically an order catalog to show you what's coming out 2 months in advance. It's what's local game stores order from.
Oh, okay, right.
Yeah, I don't even think there's a character sheet in here. In this, and it had excerpts from the 23,000 AD comics.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, this was an amazing game back in the day. Yeah, it was a percentile system. D20 with percentile.
Oh, right, yeah.
Oh, just awesome. Classic. The other one I wanted to, I don't know if you've ever got a chance to look at it. My giant shelf of books. Well, before we get too deep, tell me what's going on with what you've got going on, because you've got a lot of fires in the a lot of irons in the fire right now.
Yeah, a bit. And we've got the moment we're kind of working. Well, I'm kind of working. I'm kind of finishing off League of Seekers, which is actually very late. So I'm kind of trying to get that finished off as quickly as possible, really, and that's close to being finished now. So I'm hoping to have that out long before the end of March, which is going to be great because it's, as I said, it's very delayed. And I'm also going to be working on getting the next Ghost Ops stretch goal out,
right?
Which is mission free. All the stuff is in for that, so I just need to release it. And well, lay it out and then release it. And then after that, we've got a lot of things going on. I've got a lot of projects on the back burner, which I'm kind of working on in my spare time, which will eventually become big, games.
Right.
And we've got the new Ghost Ops coming out hopefully later this year. Ghost Ops Future War.
Now that's going to be a Kickstarter?
Yeah, that will be a Kickstarter. Yeah, it's going to be a full game, updated, future-proofed. So I'll have an awful lot of stuff there from, all the technological stuff that's going through the military at the moment, all the future sort of expected future tech, like smart bullets and all that sort of stuff. And we're going to be sort of stretch goaling settings for it. So you'll be able to play in various different settings, which rules will cover. So
what do you mean settings? Like give me a hint.
Well, one of the settings is going to be something like disaster after like an apocalyptic thing where you're basically having to deal with cities and stuff of rioters and crime, and you're kind of a bit like the Division computer game, I suppose.
Right.
That's somebody kind of suggested we do. Another one's going to be possibly an invasion scenario where
like Red Dawn.
Yeah, like a Red Dawn kind of setting. Another one's going to have mechs in it.
No way.
And it's going to be very much it's going to be between sort of 10 and 100 years in advance. Each setting will have a different time scale on it, and the rules will cover that.
Nice. Same digest format size, or is it going to be?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of like it actually.
Yeah, I do too. It's portability, man. It's in this day and age.
Yeah.
Going to conventions or going to your buddy's house and lugging 300 books that are 8.5 by 11 and weigh 40 pounds. Popping in that, or Zombie Squad. That I really like the softback format.
Yeah. So I think we'll probably keep to that. It'll be a reinvented rules, so it'll be updated, fixed. Any little issues that have fixed. Everything's going to be a bit more kind of
streamlined
stuff, because Ghost Ops has been one of our sort of better sellers. It's now a silver bestseller on drive-through, and
it's an awesome game for anybody who doesn't have it. Mr. Mean did a review of it, and you should actually add it to your games library. It uses like a Fate Light system, right, or its own proprietary.
No, it uses fudge dice, and that's kind of
fudge dice, but it's its own system, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you have your positives and your negatives, and
yeah, exactly.
But a lot of people don't know fudge because that's old school. They know Fate, which uses fudge dice.
Yeah, yeah.
So a lot of people don't know what fudge is, which there were a number of games produced under the fudge license, mostly independent people. It's kind of like I akin fudge to the Fusion system, which had its run during the day. Our Talsorian Games was promoting Fusion really heavy, and unfortunately, it just flopped and died a horrible death.
It kind of came out
a good system.
Yeah,
So,
well,
I like your system. I mean,
well, basically, we've kind of done what Fate did, what Evil Hat did, where we've taken the fudge system and basically developed something from it.
Right.
So it'll be pretty much the same system, fudge.
Yeah, and it runs really smooth. I mean, it runs pretty fast. But we made a character that one day on Discord, and that, I mean, you can belt the character out, I'd say, almost as fast as you can in Savage Worlds.
Yeah. Yeah.
And of course, Ghost Ops is what rule systems is Ghost Ops under right now? There's a Savage Worlds version, right?
Yeah, there is a Savage Worlds version at the moment, and the chances are we'll probably do a Savage Worlds version of the Future Ops.
Will that use the Suede version of the rules? The new?
It will use Suede. Yeah, it will use the new version rather than the old, obviously.
Which is awesome.
Yeah. We're kind of basically. That's going to be our next big game, I think, really, for Feral Games. It's going to be our big one because, as I said, Ghost Ops has been massively popular. Our community channels on Facebook are really active. People are always posting about their games up and showing what they're doing. People have been taking it to conventions, playing it there. So it's been really, really massively popular. So hopefully that'll just keep on growing and getting more and more popular. The League of Seekers, which is coming out this month, also uses the new Suede rules and could possibly be the first setting released that does, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I don't think there's been a setting yet that actually does use Suede.
I don't think not in a physical. My brother Eric Lamino over at Nerds International, he's got his Las Vegas setting. I mean, I think it's using Suede, but I think it's out in it's using the new Suede rules. It's Wise Guys.
Yeah, but I don't think it's out yet, is it? I think
no, I don't. I believe it. I think it might be out. I think it's out in PDF only. I think. I'm not even sure if it's actually physically out.
Yeah, I don't think it's been released at all, actually, to be honest.
Okay, yeah, and then very well maybe. Like I said, I haven't been keeping up. We've moved our whole G Plus channel over to. I have to close my Discord. It keeps popping up, driving me nuts.
Yeah,
that's the one thing about Discord I do not like.
Yeah, I turned that bit off.
Yeah, I need to go into my settings and change it. And then you've got, and I always forget the name of it, Ironbound or Iron.
Black Iron.
What is it?
Black Iron.
Black Iron. My gosh, man, the artist that you have for that is just freaking amazing.
Yeah, and that does use a dice pool system as well.
I know. D6 dice pool. I know you sent me the preview of it, and that's the first thing when I saw the dice. I was like, no. If ever a game needed like D10s or D12s, this would be the game. But aside from that, I mean, and that's just me not being a dice pool fan, but I love the Genesis, and I've never played it, but I have to say the look of it is very reminiscent of the Genesis, and so. Man, everybody who gets a chance to jump on that. Has that gone to Kickstarter yet?
It has, yeah.
Did it fund?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry I haven't been able to keep up on it.
It's all right. No problems.
Well, priorities, trying to find a job takes up most of my day. And then doing this stuff is a lot of fun. But what are you currently playing right now?
Well, I'm playing at the moment. I'm playing on a Tuesday. I play Cthulhu. I'm playing Orient Express, Call of Cthulhu, and on a Saturday I play a Western game that a friend has made using Fate rules. So we use a Wild West game using Fate, and on a Sunday I run Conan 2D20.
Excellent. Everybody knows I'm a huge fan of the 2D20 system. Mutant Chronicles is a strong love of mine. I have every iteration of Mutant Chronicles ever produced.
I've never got it, but I've never played or run it yet.
So. It's fantastic. I even like the 2D20 Star Trek.
Yeah, I've got that. I've really got a Star Trek fan. I like it though.
Yeah. Speaking of Shadowrun,
yeah.
Just cycling through my wallpapers. Conan 2D20, man, that's done really well. I have to say, it's gotten a lot of really good feedback, and I think it's a cool game. I really do. I've got their Infinity game because I'm an Infinity Miniatures player, and so the Infinity RPG is just, man, I can't say enough good things about it. I've only got to play it twice. I've yet to run it. I would love to run it because I think it's a phenomenal. The 2D20 system is just, to me, it flows. I really like it. It's got enough crunch, but it's got enough storytelling in it. I don't know. It jives with me. I guess is the only way to say it. I've liked all their games except for John Carter, Warlord of Mars. I was not. They used a stripped down version of the 2D20 system, and I got to play test it, and I did not like it at all. But that's just me. Other people may love it, and I hope they do. Modifius seems to be becoming a powerhouse.
Yeah. I mean, I almost backed John Carter, but I didn't like all the miniature stuff. I'm thinking, I can't bother with miniatures and all this, gubbins really. So
yeah, that was the same thing for Star Trek. They put out the Borg Cube box, which was the GM screen, which was the cover. I mean, neat idea, but $300, $400.
Yeah, no,
that's a lot of money, and it wasn't even a Kickstarter. That was it's a pre-order, and they filled them to order, which I don't know if that went well or not. I haven't seen any feedback. I saw one or two YouTube videos of people opening them to say, hey, this is what I got, and everybody seems to be happy with it. But it just seemed I didn't have that kind of money, even when I was making really good money. I didn't have. If I dropped $500 on an RPG product, my wife would kill me.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not that big of a Star Trek fan either. Just been
that too. That kind of, I mean, Star Trek had its heyday, and back in Cypher and Last Unicorn Games. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I would say it'd be interesting to see how the Doom game comes out this year.
Are they doing it? Modifius is doing it in conjunction with the Herbert Foundation, right? Is that
they're doing it as a 2D20 game. Yeah,
it is going to be 2D20 though, right?
Yeah.
I haven't really seen much on it. I did see the initial marketing blurb because I get Modifius Calling, which is their email that they send out once a month.
Yeah,
and I kind of read it. And
I got
if I'm working and I'm able to, I hope they don't do it as a Kickstarter though. To be honest,
well,
they will though, because that's their modus operandi. That's how they, and they don't need to do it. They have enough capital. I think, I don't know. Obviously, I have no behind the scenes view of their revenue or whatever, but I would think that they have enough operating capital as a business now that they don't need to go to Kickstarter to fund the book. I'm getting a little miffed with Kickstarters from big, like Pinnacle. I don't think they need to go to Kickstarter to produce their films. They just don't.
No, exactly. And there's other issues with that as well. I mean, Monty Cook is an example of somebody who shouldn't really need to go to Kickstarter, and shouldn't really need to have a Kickstarter where the first funding goal level is $150 or whatever it is. I mean, I don't know if you've been on Drive-Thru, but the latest Monty Cook game is now selling for $100 for a PDF.
Right, that's just ridiculous. Yeah, I mean, for a PDF, not even a physical product.
Yeah, and it's basically it is number one of the bestsellers, which is kind of weird, right? Because it became number one of the bestsellers almost instantly. And I'm thinking, hold on a second. So this game is now at $99, is selling better than another game, which is not even half price, but actually has a gold rating on it, gold seller. And this game hasn't even got a seller rating on it yet, so it hasn't even got a bronze.
Yeah, but that's because it's got Monty Cook's name on it.
Yeah, so I think number one of the bestsellers.
Yeah, and to be honest, how much did Monty Cook really have to do with it?
Yeah, and the thing is, how much did Monty Cook pay Drive-Thru to have it on the bestsellers?
Right, exactly. Which,
because I don't believe that a game that of $99 for a PDF instantly goes on a bestsellers list just like that.
You know, I would really like to see Drive-Thru put some sort of analytics on each game that says how many copies have sold.
Yeah, yeah.
That would be nice to see. You know, I'm going to go buy Ghost Ops. Well, look, it's sold 130 copies. It's been on the market for a month. That's decent. That's respectable. Oh, look, here's Zombie Squad. It's sold 50 copies and it's been on the market for 6 months. Now, there's a good and a bad there because obviously if the numbers are high, then everyone's going to be like, oh, this is a hot game, and people are going to buy it just based on that. The downside of that type of marketing is, oh, look, it's been on the market for 6 months. It's only sold 50 copies. This game must be crap, which is not necessarily true.
No.
You know, it's not meeting that niche or that genre that everybody enjoys.
Well,
you know?
I mean, I can understand it, right? When a game first comes out, right? And if it works on the sense of how many sales per day, right? So, for instance, let's say that something really big has come out, like Warhammer Fantasy, right? When Warhammer Fantasy role-playing games come out, it goes number one on the bestsellers. Now, that's understandable because on that day, it probably is selling more than everything else because obviously it's just come out and people want it, right?
Right.
So, so you understand it on the first day, the second day, maybe the third day that this is going to be number one because people are going to be grabbing it because they want it. It's going to sell more than the other games on that particular day. But I can't believe that a $99 PDF has sold better on every day consistently for 2 weeks.
Right.
Than all the other games on a day-to-day basis.
Somebody's making a lot of money if that's the case.
Now, I may be just cynical and I could be wrong, but I used to work for a bookshop, right? I worked for one of the big bookshops in this country called Waterstones, which is kind of similar to your Barnes & Noble or whatever it is. It's a big company, right?
Right.
And I used to be in front of store. So what I used to do, I used to be a floor manager, but I also used to do all the displays, right? And we used to have a top 10 bestseller books section, right? Where all the top selling books went. And now these top selling books weren't based on sales. It was based on how much a publisher was willing to pay Waterstones to have their book in the top 10 selling.
That's called marketing.
And it was common knowledge, right? Them top 10 selling books may not be selling as good as any others, but the publisher paid to have them on that stand because it made them front of house. It made them look like they were popular, and they probably sold more just based on that basis. Like a book came out one year, it sold pretty well, but later after that, it sort of died off. And then the publisher came along, paid money, had it stuck back on the top 10 seller list in order to sell more of it, even though it wasn't selling to that level. So top 10 bestsellers tend to be a bit of a farce, really.
Right.
And it's a marketing tool. It's not real. And I'm wondering whether a company like Drive-Thru has gone down that similar route.
It's hard to tell.
Yeah, it is hard to tell. But when Monty Cook comes up with a $99 PDF and gets on the bestsellers list for over 2 weeks,
right?
I think that's a little bit suspicious because who would? I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I wouldn't pay $99 for a PDF.
No, I wouldn't either. I don't care how awesome it is, or exactly. To be honest, in my opinion, Warhammer Fantasy is one of those games that I would seriously contemplate paying $100 if there was a lot of bang for the buck in that PDF. But I still probably wouldn't do it. And I mean, I have every iteration of Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay. Well, I don't have the abomination that was Fantasy Flight's board game that they tried to pass off as a role-playing game, but we won't go into that argument. But that would be one that I'd be tempted because that's nostalgia. That's maybe even possibly Judge Dredd, because I have a huge love for Judge Dredd, or Mutant Chronicles. I might be tempted to drop $100 if it was like some sort of Uber collectors. This is just a tabletop role. This is that Citadels of the Sun or whatever it is.
It's called Second Son.
Second Son, yeah, and there's a bunch of it's very. I saw the starter picture for it when they did the Kickstarter, and there's like this special little box that opens up like on Nerds.
Invisible.
There's a lot of paraphernalia that goes with running this game. And I'm not saying it's a bad game by any shape or means, because I don't know. I don't have a copy of it. I haven't played it. I haven't really read anything about it. Is it any more innovative than, Genesis or, Numenera? I don't think so. Is it more gimmicky? Yes. If I have to have special dice and crazy cards and placemats and posters just in order to play this game, that's not the kind of game I want to play. That's just me. Exactly. A lot of people think more is better, and to be honest, Ghost Ops, all I need to play Ghost Ops is the book. Zombie Squad, which is one of my favorites. All I need is that book.
Exactly, yeah. The game's Invisible Sun. It has a rating of 5 stars, but only one rating at 5 stars, right? It's now considered a best copper seller. A copper bestseller. A lot of the discussion in the discussions on Drive-Thru is about how much the PDF is. There's no reviews of it. There's just discussion about the cost.
Yeah. So hype breeds. The hype train is breeding the excitement for this game until people. You have multiple types of people. You have the people that vote with their dollar and say, "Oh, it's $100 game. It's got to be great, and it's Monty Cook," and they just buy it. They don't know anything else about the game. They just buy it.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you get the people like me, and I think you, that would read the reviews, download the primer, read a little bit about it, and go, that's not worth $100 to me. Or maybe it is, if it's your type of game. Like I said, I don't know anything about the mechanics of the game. I don't know how the game runs. I don't even know what the game is about, because, to be honest, I saw the $100 price tag and I went, never mind.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm serious. I can't. Even when I was working and making really good money, I still wouldn't have spent that kind of money on a role-playing game. I just wouldn't.
No, who would?
Because obviously life has its priorities. If I was a young college kid and didn't have any bills, that would be different. But, I have a baby, I have a wife, I have, a family to support. I have bills, $100 on a PDF.
Yeah.
And I'm probably never going to print, because Lord, I wonder how many pages are in the PDF.
1,000 apparently.
1,000 pages. So as a PDF, you can't even realistically print that at home. That's two reams. That's what? How many pages in a ream? 300 or 500?
500 in it normally.
Yeah, 500 in a ream of. So that's 2 reams of paper. And let's say you go realistically and you print double-sided, so that's 500 pages, right?
Yep.
Because it's double-sided, right? If you print it, it would only be 500 pages, even though it's 1,000 pages. You're printing on both sides, but a ream of, and you're going to want to print that on good paper. So you're looking at, here in the States, I don't know about in the UK, but here, a good ream of paper will cost you between $10 and $20, depending on the quality of paper you want. Yeah. Do you want it to be glossy or semi-gloss or no gloss, or flat white, matte white? Yeah, I bought the cheapest paper I could find. I got 2 reams for $12 because it was a special Office Depot. Yeah. And this is like the it's 90 weight. It's the cheap paper. It's photocopier paper, but it'll work in my printer just fine.
Yeah.
So, and that was still $13, $12.99 for 1,000 sheets.
And then you got to buy ink. It's just, it's ridiculous. The game, I could get the game physically, right? A black cube, which I presume is what it is, which is all the physical stuff for the black cube. I can buy it for 200 quid in England.
Right, which is about 230 US, roughly.
Yeah.
Somewhere around.
And that's all cheap then, because its recommended retail price is like £235, which is about $300, I think.
Right. So that's crazy.
It is crazy, yeah, for a role-playing game. Who wants to pay that much for a role-playing game? For a game you're going to play once a week, and then probably stop playing after 3 or 4, months, because something else has come out which is better, or you want to be playing more of.
Well, if you're like me and you got gamer ADD, and it's the new game of the week, which I fully admit to, and my players know, you're going to drop $230 roughly. Yeah, for a game that you're going to play maybe 4 or 5 times and then go play some. that's just you're a CEO executive. You've got a trust fund. You've got more money than you know what to do with. And if that's the case, please send a Zelly payment to jpolak@gmail.com. I can put your money to good use. You know, because I'm unemployed right now and I have a family to support, and any help that I can gather is greatly appreciated. So, you know, I mean, come on. $200 for that's ridiculous.
I mean, it's definitely things you can spend $100 on, which would be more worthwhile.
Yeah, I mean,
you can buy 4 games with that.
I can buy 4 games,
5 PDFs, and you know, you can buy a shit ton of PDFs. You know,
exactly. I mean,
you can buy 10 copies of Ghost Ops and hand them out to your friends,
and still have some money left over.
Yeah, well, yeah, no.
Go get a pint with your friends at the pub.
Exactly. But yeah, I mean, that is ridiculous amount of money for I mean, I remember the quick Kickstarter coming out for it, and it was just silly money.
Right. Well, I mean,
and it's basically all his name. It's just his name, isn't it?
Just his name. That's all you're paying for. Who knows? I haven't even seen one. Have you? I mean, I haven't trolled YouTube, but have you seen a Let's Play for it?
No, not that I've looked for it. No, I'm not looked for one, but I don't think there is one.
What about a YouTube review? Is anybody actually Is it even shipped to people yet?
Well, I presume it has.
Because I know it was a Kickstarter, and I know it made an obscene amount of money. Not as much as John Wick did with 7th Sea.
No. I think people were probably a lot less underwhelmed with Invisible Sun than they were with 7th Sea. I mean, 7th Sea is at least you can just buy the rule book and you've got the game.
Yeah, you got like 2 or 3 books, if I remember correctly, with the.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, you heard about his fiasco. To change gears and stop giving Monty Cook money, because that's all we're doing is making people want to go out and figure out what the hell is Invisible Sun, so they can go to drive-through and pay $100 for a game that they'll play once. I love you, Monty Cook, but I'm sorry, I'm not paying $100 for that game. That's stupid. Yeah. There's no RPG out there worth $100. I'm sorry. I don't care how good they are. I think, in all of my opinion, RPGs are overpriced. But it's unfortunately the cost of printing. Yeah. You know, and you can't, like here in the States, I don't know about the UK, but you know, like printing is cheaper in Canada than it is in the United States. But it's even cheaper in China.
Yeah.
But then then it's got to be on a boat for, 4 to 8 weeks, sometimes 12 weeks coming across the ocean, and then they get jostled around and banged up and then there's, a certain amount of loss, because some books are dinged and beat up and you can't sell them.
And the other side of it is that you've got to get enough of the book to make it profitable. So the more you get printed, obviously, the cheaper it becomes. But then you're stuck with 10,000 copies of a book in your loft or whatever, or in your garage, basically just hanging around, being doorstops until somebody comes up and buys it.
Right? Yeah, and then you wind up on Miniature Market or Game Nerds and the 30% off bin at your local bookstore, 40% off. I mean, there's a catch-22, and nobody has gotten rich producing RPG games. Let's say Monty Cook is a very notable fantasy fiction writer, and that's where he makes it. Of course, right now he's making his money off of all the people that are going out and buying $100 PDF, but and then the Kickstarter, but. So John Wick, he just announced a couple of months ago the closing of John Wick Presents or John Wick Studios.
Really?
Well, he was at the time he was the highest grossing Kickstarter RPG.
Yeah, 1.5 million or whatever.
Yeah, he made a shit ton of money, and he promised like 10 books, right? Well, he just I think at the beginning of winter time, like October, November last year, he laid off everybody that he had hired. Closed his offices there in Phoenix, Arizona.
Right.
Used to be my roommate, a little known fact. When he moved to Arizona, he needed a place to stay, and I was going through a divorce. I had a big old house, and so to help make the mortgage payment, he moved in, and he was a great roommate, super nice guy, but just super political and opinionated, and not my taste, not my type of person. I like him as a person, but I don't like him as a businessman. Just That's just my personal opinion. I have nothing against John Wick. I think he's a great guy, and I'm proud to say that I'm a friend of his. But I don't like how he does things in the business world. That's just my own point of view. It has nothing to do with anybody else. But I just think it's a shame that he made that much money and his business closed not even a year after opening, and that just shows you what mismanagement and, lack of proper funding can do. Monty Cook now ran the same thing. Monty Cook said, hey, fund my book so I can create a business so that I can do live streaming and make it viable and make it a business. I want to make money off of this. I don't want to work in the computer industry anymore, where I'm scrambling from job to job once a video game is finished and I got to figure out where my next paycheck's coming from. So I think Matt Colville, did it the right way. It's upfront, clear as day. This is what I want the money for. This is what it's going to get you. This is what you're going. These are the tangibles that you will be able to touch when you back my strongholds and followers. And he made, oh my God, he made a sickening amount of money. But the difference between him and John Wick is the book that he promised is the PDFs are already out. He is streaming. He has been transparent with the spending of the money every step of the way. Yeah. By doing a YouTube video once a month, sometimes, and a lot more frequent. He promised once a month, but he put out on average 2, maybe 3 videos every month on the status of where things were. They bought a studio or they rented a studio. They bought cameras. They bought lighting. They bought a game table where they could film their game sessions on. And he told you it was transparent every step of the way. And I'm not saying John Wick didn't do that, but I didn't see any videos of that. No. And I know people are still complaining, hey, where's my books?
Right.
Because all the books haven't been produced. Now, he did say on the company website, he said that, it's with a sad heart that I have to close, the business and lay everybody off. But, there's just not enough money for the payroll, yada, yada, yada. But and he says the rest of the books will be printed. So I'm hoping that being a smart young businessman that he is, that hopefully he took that money and he prepaid for the development and the production of that product so that people don't, saying, hey, I backed that. I want all 10 books and I only got 3. Where's my other 7 books? Well, here's the PDFs. Have a nice day. Bye-bye. No, that's not what I backed. I backed for 10 physical books. Where's my books? I don't know if that is happening. I'm not saying it is, but I hope that is not the case. I hope that he was smart enough to fund that money in such a way that he's able to produce those books, get them shipped, if he's using overseas printing, and that they are of decent quality and that the backers get their product. That's what I hope happens. And I knowing John Wick, I'm pretty sure that's what will happen, but I just hope that, people don't get screwed, because that's a lot of money to be gone in less than a year. I mean, what could you do with that much money?
Yeah, that is mental, isn't it? I don't understand how anybody with that amount of money could actually suddenly become financially have problems with finances, unless of course they've been sort of using it badly.
No, well, that's what I'm saying. Did he go to Gen Con? Did he pay for his crew to go to Gen? There's a certain, there's that enthusiasm and that excitement. Oh my God, I made $1.5 million on a Kickstarter. And knowing John, he probably does have all the books written, or a very strong outline of all the books. And the guy is, 10,000 words a night is nothing for him. And I would hate to think that, oh my God, I got 1.5 million. And, hey, let's fly everybody to, Gary Con in Wisconsin, let's stay in the best hotels and let's get rental cars and, just blowing that money and not putting it back into the company to, keep the viability going. And that's what I'm worried about. I'm worried that's what but I don't know. I haven't talked to John Wick in several years because I don't live in Arizona anymore, and I just don't stay in touch with him. That's not to say.
I'm just thinking with that sort of amount of money, with offset print and everything, you basically have the money, You use your offset print, and then you make your money back on the offset print. Because if you've got that sort of money, you can get a decent amount of books printed, which means you're basically paying $8 a book, right? You're selling them then for $30, $40, which is a quite
I
good.
think his book sold for like $59 a piece.
Right. Well, then you're making
you're making a lot
about $50 a book.
Right.
I mean, it must have sold. I mean, I've seen it up there on drive-through as a good seller on PDFs.
Right.
And there's I don't know what people do with this stuff. I mean, they have an awful lot of, they get an awful lot of cash, and then it suddenly all disappears, and you wonder where it went. And you don't want to presume it went up noses or
right.
Or anything like that.
You don't want to presume that the money was spent, improperly. Yeah. See, here's the 7th Sea Swashbuckling Adventure Bundle. For $80.54. And now this is PDF. This is not even physical books. And you get for thousands of years, Hidden Kingdom. It doesn't say what you get. Wait a minute now. Tell me. Okay, so you get Cathay, the Explorer Society, Heroes, Villains, and Monsters, the Island of Gold, Knights of the Musketeers, Rapier's Edge, Ships and Sea Battles, Strong. So it looks like all 10 books.
Yeah, but is that first edition or second?
That's second edition.
Oh, right. Because Cafe itself was a separate Kickstarter, wasn't it? That made 200,000.
Oh, did it? See,
Yeah.
I don't even know. So that's, and he's selling that bundle for $80, which that's decent. You're getting what, 10 titles? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Yeah, a lot of those books aren't.
You're getting 10 books for $80. So that's less than $10 a book. $7.99 roughly for a PDF, $8 a book. That's pretty awesome. I mean, and I will say the production quality of the books looks great. I saw one of the physical books at one of the conventions I went to last year, and it looked amazing. In fact,
I mean, I thought it was a really nice looking book. It's a really nice looking design and stuff. And if I played it and I liked it,
and then you get, it's just, I don't get it, man. I don't get how you can make that much money and be broke.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No.
So, I mean,
yeah,
I don't understand. Where does that money go? What do you do?
You must be getting income.
Yeah. I mean, and I understand you want to start a bit, and that's what I'm saying. That's what I like about what Monty Cook did. Monty Cook said, this is what we're going to do the money with, and he has followed that every step of the way. I'm looking for Strongholds and what is it? Strongholds and
I can't remember that. Stronghold or something like that, wasn't it? It was one of those games I always thought, hold on a second, why can't people just do this themselves?
Yeah.
Why does they need to buy a book about it?
Well, I mean, it's Matt Colville, and he's
he's got a YouTube presence, and he's a
so I mean, 28,918 backers.
That's a shit ton, isn't it? I mean,
$2,121,465. $2 million, over $2 million.
Yeah,
for this book, and I have it. I have the PDF of it. I backed it at the $35 level, which gets me the book and a T-shirt and I think a bumper sticker. And you know what? I'm okay with that. I physically get the book when it's printed, but I also got the PDF and all the updates.
Yeah.
So, and this is for 5th edition. The nice part is you can use it for any game. I mean, it has some 5th edition mechanics in it, but for the most part, the concepts can be used in any game you want to run. And then of course it also funded Strongholds and streaming.
I mean, I know he's got a big YouTube presence, doesn't he? He's quite.
He's I mean, just gigantic. And the thing was, that's what he did. He said, I want to make this book, but this book is going to help sustain Monty Cook. It's MCM. I forgot what it stands for. Monty Cook, whatever. But he wanted to make enough money to do this streaming thing. And then, he's got a whole new line of dragons that he's having produced and actual 3D miniatures made. which is also a part of it. He's got a web store up where you can buy said dragons and the books. His next book is going to be something about deities, I think, or something like that. But it's following that same structure of strongholds and followers, but it's just going into like warriors and deities or something like that. He talked about it on his stream. But
okay.
What I think is amazing in that aspect is the amount of money he raised, which is outrageous, but also the fact that he has told you, he's been transparent every step of the way about what's coming.
Right.
You know what I mean? And
yeah.
I think that's amazing. It's, that you can do that.
Oh. Yeah, I think it's I mean, I'm not a huge 5th edition player, really, so it's not something I would have backed. But I think it's great. I mean, I think it's great that role playing games can get that amount of interest. I think it is good. But I think it's very important that people kind of check out the independent stuff as well, because not everything's D&D, it's
right. And that's my huge complaint is there's great games out there like Zombies. And I'm not picking on you. That's an example. Zombie Squad, I think, is a great game. I think it's fun. It's fast. It's easy to play. The quality of the book looks great. Through the Breach, completely so far from D&D, it's not even funny. And it's a great game, we got a couple people in the chat.
I noticed that.
Yeah, there's 3 people watching. I don't know if that includes me. Anthony says, I have 100 pounds a month RPG. He's a Irishman over there in the UK. He's one of my followers. Super nice guy. I pick on him a lot. He has the gaming group I wish I had. But yeah, 100 pounds a month. I mean, that's pretty legit. That's a decent amount of money to spend.
Yeah,
but think of it this way: you bought Sunless Citadel or whatever it's called,
Invisible Sun.
Yeah, that one. That's your budget for the month.
Yeah,
you can't buy anything else.
Yeah.
So
I mean, with that, you can pick up 3 role playing games.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you'd have to look at free. You couldn't afford anything else. You blew your budget. But Through the Breach, man, is another one that I think is amazing. It's a game that to me doesn't get enough. It doesn't get enough attention, for what it is.
It's based on a miniatures game, isn't it?
It is on Malifaux. It's from weirdgames.net. If you weird-games.net, if you go to their website, and this is their 2nd edition. They're getting ready to do a 3rd edition of the miniatures game, and I don't know how that's going to affect the tabletop game. But man, you want to talk about a phenomenal miniatures game? But I really like the tabletop game as well. I'm going to put the focus on me for a second here. There we go. So if you guys haven't seen this one, man, check it out. Through the Breach. This is all you need right here. The original 1st edition had was 2 core books and then a GM screen, which is a really nice GM screen, and then a bunch of it also came with like the character sheets that were like a bifold. It was pretty neat how they did it. But they were softback, and everyone kind of wanted a hardback. And so this is, can you see it? Can you see my screen or see me? James, can you hear me?
Yep, I can see it.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure because my little screen just says you.
But,
yeah, this is another one, man. Uses cards. So you can use the Malifaux cards that you use in the miniatures game, or you can use just a standard, poker deck. But they give you rules in here, and it's a really cool character creation. Just a great game all the way around. Like I said, doesn't get nearly enough attention that I feel it should get. And I wore my, just for our conversation today, the +20 shirt of Smiting.
See, my issue with that would be the fact that because I don't play a lot of offline games, the cards would become redundant.
Right. And again, this is one of our biggest quandaries for guys like you and I is it's hard to get a around the table group going.
Yeah.
That's the downside. Trying to find a group of like-minded people that want to play the game you want to play is hard to find. But if you go online, you know, you can find 1,000,001 people to play, you know, whatever game X, you know, whatever game X may be.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
And that part is just really, really annoying to me. I wish, you know, now granted, I live in a medium-sized city. You know, Duluth, Minnesota is not huge, but it's not small either. So I'm, you know, I'm stuck with what I got, you know. So I mean, I can find 100 people to play D&D. I don't want to play D&D. I don't like to play D&D. I'd rather play Through the Breach or Zombie Squad. You know, those are the games I want to play. Right now I'm running Scum and Villainy. We had our first session last weekend and it went fairly well. But that's powered by the Apocalypse game, based off the hack of Blades in the Dark.
Yeah, because it's because he made that an SRD, didn't he? Blades in the Dark. So that's so people can make sort of games from it and stuff. I've got Blades in the Dark. I've never really got my head around the rules.
Yeah,
because I think Blades in the Dark is a little bit different because it has the whole kind of flashback ruling and all that sort of stuff, which is kind of interesting. But
yeah, it's really. But you know, the flip side is you don't have to use those flashback rules. It is a part of the game and it adds to it. But if you're not comfortable or your player base isn't comfortable with that, you don't have to use it. That's the main part about it.
Right. I do. I mean, I do like the idea behind it. I do like the idea behind it.
I do too. We did it in my session last week because they came to a spot in the game where I was like, this is a perfect opportunity for a flashback. Do you want to do a flashback? And the player was like, yeah. And so we kind of narrated out the flashback. We made a couple dice rolls. I like the game because it's more narrative. The other game that I think doesn't get enough attention, which is super awesome, is Simba Room. You know, as a GM, you don't roll any dice. The players roll all the dice.
Yeah.
I think it's an amazing mechanic, and I love the world. I love the game setting. I mean, you think Warhammer Fantasy is dark and gritty? Read Simba Room. I mean, that's a dark world, right? I mean, Warhammer's dark. Yeah, it's downtrodden, and you're struggling to. It ain't got nothing on Simba Room.
A lot of these games that they call, you know, dark and gritty, things like Warhammer and Shadow of the Demon stuff in medieval Europe, don't they? Really, it's not a sense of dark. It's just medieval Europe,
right? And I think that's and that's the different part. You know, I mean, I think we're getting our. I don't want to say genres, but we're getting our terminology wrong. It's dark and gritty and downtrodden, you know, a grim world of perilous adventure. That is the tagline for Games Workshop's Warhammer Fantasy, a grim world of perilous adventure. And, you know, the thing is with Warhammer Fantasy, you can do a city-based campaign and never run into demons, never run into, you know, goblins and Skaven and whatever. It could be all about cultist and political intrigue, and that's not necessarily grim dark. I mean, it can be, of course, because it's open to interpretation and how we view it. But then you look at games like Simba Room, it's just dark. There's no shining side in that game.
No, and I think grim dark really should be about how easy it is to die or how dangerous the game is and all of that stuff, rather than just the fact that, the floors are a bit muddy and some people have got to play, you know.
The floors are a bit muddy.
Because that is just life in medieval Europe. That was just normal life for some people. It's not, you know.
You've made it in Warhammer when you get an actual broom and you can sweep your floor. Your house is clean. You've succeeded.
I mean, I love Warhammer, but
it's game near and dear to my heart. Like I said, I own every iteration of it. Well, the role-playing iterations, not the board game iteration. I agree with you, but you know, to say it's grim and dark, I think Shadows of Demon Lord is far darker than Warhammer.
That dark. I mean, there's a lot of games out there that are a lot darker.
Oh yeah,
and people don't know about them.
Right, because they're small press games, and
exactly, yeah.
Not to toot my own horn, but that's what I like about my channel is I give more emphasis to, you know, League of Shadows and you know, Zombie Squad and Degenesis. How many Americans know about Degenesis as an RPG?
Yeah, exactly.
Hardly any. I mean, that's one of my least viewed videos because people look at it and go, I don't know anything about that. I'm not going to watch that. But, if I do a D&D video, I get 180 hits in a day, but I do a Degenesis video and I get 2,
Yeah. But it's but it's an amazing game. I mean, talking about rules and stuff, I did a game years ago, and you were talking about Symbrum and the GM never rolls. Well, I did a game where you don't roll to hit with melee weapons, because the reasoning was if you're that close to somebody and need to roll to hit, then you shouldn't really be using a sword, because if you're standing next to somebody and you roll to hit them, then you can pretty much hit them at that distance, whatever you're doing, either swinging that sword around or whatever.
Right.
Or you're hitting, right? I mean, the only time you really need to roll to hit is to range weapons, because obviously that's a little bit more complex. But taking away the whole roll to hit, and all you do is roll to defend. Really, you're rolling to defend, not rolling to hit. Which I thought was actually quite a good, quicker way of doing combat. Really.
Yeah, I like.
Yeah, I mean, if you're standing next to somebody, if I'm standing next to you with a baseball bat and I swing my baseball bat, I'm going to hit you.
Right.
I don't need to have charge.
Unless you're a ninja, or I'm a 300-pound, completely out of shape moron. In which case I shouldn't be swinging a baseball bat at you anyway. Exactly. I should, be on the couch eating Cheetos.
I mean, the only thing that's going to stop me from hitting you is you defending yourself against that hit.
Right, and I like that. I like that concept. I mean, that makes total sense. But hey, it is 11:50. I have to go pick my wife up from her meeting. This has been a hoot. You want to say same time, same channel next week? Yeah.
Well, what we should do is I think we should maybe structure it. This was a test. If anybody's watching,
right? If anything, just to make sure it would record.
We want to see if it worked, really. Basically, see if we can actually get this thing to work.
Yeah. Let's dialogue offline, and let's get like a time frame or a structure, outline.
Well, maybe what we should do is on your Discord channel, we could ask people what they want us to talk about, and then come on and chat with us, and we can have a discussion each week about what would be good to discuss.
Yeah, and then people want to jump into the channel, and we'll do it. I'll try to set up my laptop so I can have 2 screens open. I think that'll make it a little bit easier, and that'll maybe later on in the week or over the weekend, you and I can try to test out doing the Discord and the OBS and get it work. I'll try to figure it out in between now and then. But we'll shoot for next Wednesday around 9:30 my time, 10 o'clock.
Yeah. Okay.
And hopefully we'll have some. You and I and Discord will have a chat, and we'll figure out what we want to talk about and how we want to go about it. And I want to thank everybody who participated. I can't see the screen that shows if there's anybody in the chat.
There is somebody. There's a Jesse Buchaga.
Jesse's an awesome guy. He's been following me the last couple of weeks, and I thank him for his contributions. He's super awesome and cool. And I think Jesse's the one that has the very open game group that if you buy it, they'll play it. Which, God, that's awesome. Man, could you imagine what I could do? I can run anything. But yeah, definitely give those guys a big shout out and a thanks for watching and hanging out with us for the last hour or so. It's been a hoot, James.
Not too sure if we'll actually make this public, really, because it was a test. It's up to you. You want to make this public.
It's public. I looked on my YouTube channel and it's being streamed right now.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's on my
excellent. So next we'll structure it a bit better.
When we end the stream, what'll happen is YouTube will render it and it'll go into my feed. So probably in an hour or so, maybe 2 hours, it'll be up there for everybody. You'll start seeing it get hits and stuff. And of course, those people that hit the little bell to be notified when I go online, they've all got messages. But again, it's the middle of the day for most people. They're at work. So, I don't foresee having a ton of people in there. It would be different if we did it at like 8 o'clock at night. We'd have a lot more people in there. But again, this also wasn't broadcasted in advance. We just jumped on there real quick to decide if we could do it. So a big shout out to Mr. James Gantry. Thank you so much, sir, for spending your morning or your evening with me, correct?
It's now 5 o'clock almost.
Yes, so almost evening for you. So thank you so much across the big pond. Everybody that was in the chat, thank you. This will be up on YouTube. You'll be able to stream it, or you'll be able to watch it and consume it later on. It's just two grognards balking about
RPGs.
$100 PDF that will never play.
Yeah,
So
that's
now I
motivating.
feel like I have to buy it just so that I can criticize it.
Well, send me a copy if you do that.
Maybe Monty will send me a copy for review.
I'll buy it. It'll be all right.
Maybe one of our viewers will buy it for us, and we can.
No, I don't really want it. Save your money on something good.
Save your money. Please don't buy it for us. We don't really want it, to be honest. I don't know anything about it. I have no interest in it whatsoever. I'm sure it's a wonderful game. Numenera is a great game. It's just not the game for me. I don't particularly like it. I don't like the mechanic. Gods of the Fall, fantastic game. I love reading that. It's on the shelf back there with my copy of Numenera and The Strange, which I think The Strange is awesome as well. I just don't like the game mechanics. That's just me.
I don't love it. I think they take a step that they don't need to take with the whole difficulty 3 times it by 3. This is what you need to roll under. It seems like we just say what you need to roll under.
Why do I have to multiply it by 3? Why are you making me do math?
Exactly. Yeah.
I already gave you $50 for your book. Why are you making me do math?
With a calculator or something.
Yeah, exactly. All right, guys, I've got to go pick up my wife. Thanks everybody for tuning in. James, a big thank you to you. Give your lovely wife a big kiss from me, and you guys have a lovely day. And peace and hair grease. And remember, Mr. Mean always says, be nice.